everything that was yours, absolutely nothing was lost. Because you never had anything. So it is really paradoxical, but this is key. It's a key part of the message, because you feel that me fears losing everything that I call mine, that I hold dear, that I really hold dear, and I'm terrified of that. But if everything that you hold dear is lost, so that by lost I mean it's not yours anymore. Nothing's lost. Nothing at all.
I still can't relate that to my question. Well, I can.
So will Van Gogh? No, you won't. Right, okay.
But you don't know.
I'll answer it so you've got a satisfactory answer. Never paint another fucking thing.
No.
I'm just making that up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because he could also,
Of course.
carry on painting.
Oh, well, there is no carrying on painting. See when we say all of that, as soon as we're into any of this, so we're hypothesising about a historical character. in a possible future, when he's lost himself. What the hell? I mean, those sort of questions, I mean, they're just
What?
But there might still be...
Well, they're just pure... Right, one of the things that I'm not interested in is hypothesising. Because that's imagination. So I'm imagining Van Gogh... I can't really imagine him, but I've got I can make some image in my mind. Then I've got to imagine him, he's distraught, he's cut his ear off. And then I've got to imagine... Oh, he's been to Tony Parsons, but not Tony Parsons, but some Dutch Tony Parsons of... I'm not very good at art history, what year we're in. And then I have to imagine that he's lost himself, and he's sitting there at his easel and he's going, God, it's so empty. And then he's just happy with a blank canvas. And then I guess he smokes and drinks a lot.
But also painting might happen.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it still might happen.
Right, the thing is about might happen, there isn't anything that might happen. No, this is really, there's no might happen. Where the hell's that? And especially when we're talking about, the past, and what might happen in a past future. I mean, they're the sort of things we spend our time as a self endlessly going over. I mean, what the hell? There's no mileage in any of it, is there? It's just all. So one of the freedoms is freedom from all of that. You won't be asking any of those questions, because there is no any answer is equally valid, isn't it? About a possible future, anything is equally valid.
Because really, you're always asking, what will happen to me?
That's really what I want to know.
Yeah, what will happen? That, it's based on fear.
That's the only thing I want to know, really.
What if I do not exist
Mm-hmm.
and can't have exactly what I want?
Mm.
Because that's my biggest fear.
But when we're talking about possibilities, there aren't any possibilities.
No, but yes, but
Yes.
talking is something that's, and it's not happening, nothing's happening, but talking is happening. So for Van Gogh, painting could happen. Well, not for Van Gogh, but there might be painting. It's a different thing you're talking about, kind of, I think, that Jim is asking.
Do you paint?
Have I answered your question yet?
I'm a musician, I write music, not paint. But
I think-
yes, it's like the arts is like fundamental to my very existence.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
So
I think you're asking, without anyone who's being doing music or
Can
painting,
it still happen?
would
it
that
still-
be lost?
Yes.
And I would say that it might be or it might not be.
No, it might be enhanced. You might do a lot more.
Yeah.
And you might even go down the hopeful road of being much better.
Well, that's a judgment.
No, but what I mean is, no, that's what I mean, but you could, you know, if we're only like telling a story about an imagined future, and you can imagine anything you want. There isn't one.
But if there is no judgment, I can imagine arts freeing, or being freed, flowing freely.
Yeah.
I will say, this is talking about this character. That was one of my hopes. I can remember hoping, in the absence of me, how wonderfully creative I would become. Fucking nothing. Nothing. Zilch. So I got some clay. Because I did A-level pottery. So of course, latent potter. No, sculptor, because I didn't want to be a bog standard potter. You know, I wanted to be a great sculptor. So I couldn't afford the bronze, so I'll get some clay. Because now I'm, you know, free from myself and all that. Then I'll be, so I got a piece of clay. And I got it and I rolled it. And I just felt it in my hands and it felt lovely. And I did that for about 10 minutes. And I put it down. And that was it. It stayed as just an amorphous lump of clay. That was the end of it. That was the end of my creative journey. Yeah, it was. And I have to say, there was a pang, there was some disappointment in that. But it was, oh well, that's not happening then, is it? And it's just not happening. Because I thought, oh, there will just be creative energy and I'm going to just produce something really exquisite that others will wonder at. A non-dual masterpiece is what I had in mind. Abstract, but representing nothing being everything. In the medium of clay. What is it?
In pottery form.
Yeah. And people would ask me, they would wonder at it, they would gasp when they saw it, and then they would ask me, what is it? I would say, it's nothing, being everything. And then just, you know, enigmatically just stare into the distance as they walked away bemused. That's what I imagined. No, nothing happened, I got nothing. And I was waiting, it'll come. Oh, never picked it up again. That was a waste of clay, wasn't it? Waste of clay. And I was sad and disappointed. There was sadness and disappointment for about 10 seconds. And I think I had a cup of tea and a cigarette, and then I've not thought about it till now.
A strange thing happened to me last Sunday because I wrote about 6 poems in a day. I've never been into poetry. I do not know how to write poems. I don't even know if they are poems, to be honest with you. I put them on Facebook and people seem to like them.
Yeah, lovely.
And since then, I tell you, I've probably written enough for a thin book. I mean, these just
all
points.
come out.
I don't even know what I'm saying, what they mean.
No.
That's a good title, A Thin Book of Poetry.
But the feeling, there's an energy with them.
Yeah.
That when they're being expressed, it connects with this sort of,
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Because it's great. I love it when you say, because it comes out, you don't know where it's coming from, do you?
No.
Well, that's just naturally how this is. So, and that sounds, when me hears that, they go, whoa, that sounds fucking weird. I know when, you know, the shit that comes out of my mouth, I know where that's coming from. It's coming from me. That's what me is. But no, it just naturally is all coming out of, you just don't know, so you know where, nothing, emptiness. whatever word you want to apply, it doesn't matter, it doesn't mean anything. You just don't know, that's what we're talking about. So it just comes. That's exactly what all human beings, don't ask me how I know this, because I don't know this, but it just seems obvious. That's naturally how everything is apparently appearing to function, just seems to be functioning, with the exception of human beings who just have to claim it that they're doing it. I'm doing it. They're mine. It's just the claiming. And the claiming is just what it is. It's claiming it, possessing it, holding it, grasping it, keeping it. And of course, look at that, it's painful, isn't it? It's tight, it hurts. It's just, and you can't help it, it's what me does, because me is very afraid. Me can't let go. If it hears a message of let go, surrender, release, accept, all of these, they sound great, but it's just more me trying. I'm now going to try surrendering. So now I'm this, and I'm going to try really hard to let go. So I'm trying really hard. Well, that fist just gets tighter, doesn't it? That lump in your chest gets like it's gripped around your heart, really. So I did a lot of trying. So in the story of of trying to be free, to find some peace, I never really knew what I was looking for, and it's funny that it's very clear now what I was looking for. That's the other thing. Weird. It's only a story, but now in Tim's story, Tim was looking for peace. That's what he was after. That's what he wanted. Some fucking rest. And what did I want rest from? What do you want rest from? Me. I want rest from myself. That's my longing. And that was my longing. And you don't have to long for that. It is already.
Probably why sleep feels so good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I love rest in peace. That's on a gravestone. It's got a totally different. I never gave it a thought really, but it's so apt. It's so spot on. And this is resting in peace in life, not death.
And yet, I mean, rest in peace and yet in a different way than the way you thought.
I think, right, if I was trying to express it, I would say it's exactly the same, but with the fullness and the emptiness rather than just empty. Empty, you know nothing. Fullness, you can talk about. Seems like stuff going on. Mm-hmm. So this is fullness. This is emptiness being full, and deep sleep is just plain empty. So what do you know about that? You don't know anything about that. It's exactly the same as this. What do you know about this? Well, you know nothing about it, but there's lots of apparent things, seeming stuff going on. So I can talk about feelings, I can talk about thoughts, I can talk about sights, I can talk about sounds, I can talk. Full. It's full. Deep sleep's completely empty. And of course no one knows what bodily death is, but it just seems absolutely obvious to me. It would be exactly like deep sleep. What else would it be? Which is what? It's nothing else. So where is the fear of death? There is. It's another reason why this is a compassionate message, because it's the absence of the fear of death. Death holds no fear because I die every night and it's absolute bliss. You die every night. Well, and that's why insomnia's, sleep deprivation is the number one, it's one of the most preferred torture methods, because it's excruciating, because me gets no respite from me, and that's
So
terrible.
the torture method
You
is
never get-
over mean people.
and you get no rest, and that lack of rest is torture. I mean, deep sleep is bliss, and we don't know why it's bliss, do we? Because we don't know anything about it at all. There's no existence, you know. It's so obviously completely unknowable and empty, and yet that when you are falling asleep, which is a great word, when you are falling, because that's just like this. This is falling, but when you go into sleep and you're falling, and so the thingness, the fullness is falling away, and you're falling into, you don't know what you're falling into. Isn't it the most beautiful? You know, everyone just goes, wow, this is what I want. And what do you want? To not be present, not to have me. Yeah, just to rest. And so this is resting while apparently moving. Because this isn't moving, but it seems like it's moving.
Can I ask you a really practical question?
Yeah.
So, do you really, do you still respond to, like, I'll give you the only way I can explain it. So when I hear some music, I almost die with the pleasure that it fills me with. So in a state of non-duality, do you still feel that?
I've been in the car with Tim, driving along when he's playing Muse and turning the radio up and going, I love this, isn't this a great track?
Yeah, more so.
More so?
Yeah.
Okay. Blimey, not sure I can cope with more.
Oh.
No, I can.
You can't. Yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah, more so.
Good. Okay.
And more. I've got to pick up on something you said about in my non-dual state. Now I know you can't actually describe. So we're trying to talk about a difference that doesn't exist. So you're sitting there, feeling like you're sitting there, and you're thinking that Tim's sitting there. Well, he's telling me he's not sitting there.
Yeah.
That's got to be different. That's a different way of being. It's not. No. So the message is not that you can become non-dual. It's saying there is no you. That is the case, not in an imagined future, not that you can become. I didn't become in a new state. States just come and go, just like thoughts come and go, or clouds come and go in the sky.
But
So
you
it's not
don't come and go. Your sense of you doesn't come and go. You are in a permanent state of now.
Right, the thing is, it's a complete... it's best we don't go near that. No, because we're talking totally hypothetical. But this is continuous. There's no continuity here. This is the end of anything being continuous. This isn't continuous. Continuous is an idea about time. It was here, it is here, it will be there. It's not. This is the end of continuity. Nothing continues.
But you do hear people, like I've heard at Tony's meetings, talking about the state, kind of suddenly there, I'm back in Lao.
I know. Nonsense, isn't it?
What did you say?
It's nonsense.
Oh, it's...
No, I'm not saying it's nonsense in that it doesn't feel like that, but The last thing I'd want to convey is that you too could be like me.
Oh,
No, I'm not.
it's a
I
motivational talk.
would. If you, I mean, I'm not actually thinking any of you are thinking that. But if you are, for God's sake, get that out your head. I'm saying, not only can you not be like someone else, you can't be like yourself. You are what you are. What is that? You fucking can't know. You can't know what this is. If you were to know what this is, you would know everything. And I know you think you're clever. I know you do. We all do. I don't know any me's who, you know, they might put themselves down, but really secretly, I've got a handle on this. Well, you can't know everything, and this is everything. So what it gives you, I mean, you're let off completely. This is the ultimate let off the hook. And you've been on the hook, your own hook. You've been the angler, the fucking rod, the line, the hook, and the fish. You've been trying to get off the hook. Well, you're holding the fucking rod. And so you're pulling that way to get escape. And all the time you're reeling yourself in. Well, there's nowhere to go. So you get a rest. And it's a complete rest. In complete peace. Now, that's misheard as well. Somebody said to me the other day, complete peace. The other day I heard you swearing. You got really... You kicked the cat. That's not complete cat. He did shit on the carpet. Why wouldn't you kick it? So he went, well, that's not complete peace. I went, oh yeah, I'm complete. There's complete peace with kicking the cat. I fucking loved it. Because there's no, there's no remorse. Just shit happens. It's not about not getting angry. This isn't about purity. It's the opposite of that. It's raw. This is just life in the raw. It's just that life as it is, as opposed to how you've said you want it to be. That's the message. Life, it will never be how you want it to be. That's the fish on the line going, I want to escape. This shouldn't be happening. Well, there isn't any escape from here. Where do you want to go from here? Well, you're not going anywhere. The inescapability of this is very, again, it's paradoxical. The fact that you can't escape is the freedom. Now, that's really hard for me to get. I remember how hard that is to get that. So there isn't any escape from this because there isn't anywhere else to go. So, what is that? That's total relaxation. So where am I going to get to? Nowhere. If you want it, if you're struggling with the time thing, that there's no future, you just say, well, I know it'll always be here, won't it? Where else will I be? I'm always here. But not even that. There isn't even here. Because it's all right to talk about presence and now and immediacy and direct knowing and there's lots of different phrases about which you can work at to be apparently more present. Well, there isn't more presence, there's just only that. So there isn't more or less of this. There can't be more or less of nothing, and there can't be more or less of everything. Can there? That's it.
And the rest is unconditional. So it's not rest when I'm laying down doing nothing or,
No, you could be working.
or meditating.
Yeah, you could be working hard.
It's rest when I'm rushing for the train. Rushing's happening in rest.
Yeah.
And how about when you're in pain?
Pardon?
How's the rest when you're in pain?
Painful.
Yet restful.
No, I wasn't being facetious. I meant,
Yeah.
how is pain? How is pain? Oh, this isn't at all talking about the absence of pain.
It's just hard to imagine, like,
It's
a
really-
being in pain can be restful,
Yeah,
peaceful.
that is, no, not blissful.
No, peaceful.
Oh, peaceful, yeah, it's peace. It's all peace.
Painful peace.
Yeah, painful peace. Beautiful peace, ugly peace. Wonderful peace, dreadful peace. By the way, if I was describing or attempting, this is all futile attempts, but if I'm trying to, when I'm saying peace, I'm really referring to that sense of emptiness, of not moving. That's the peace. You can call it stillness, silence. There's a lot, in spiritual terms, they love the word, they say silence, mostly. So it's like, so no matter how noisy this is, that's silence being noisy. No matter how much movement there is, that's stillness moving.
But the thing is, with pain, you really want to get rid of it, don't you?
You do.
And you?
I think just, you see, how it would be, I think, because I've been in pain. I had appendicitis not long ago, so I nearly died of this body. It was touch and go. I had 24 hours apparently when I got to A&E, and it was excruciating. But so I would say the pain was, it was dreadfully painful, but it's hard to describe. But there was an okayness about the pain that it wouldn't have been for me, because I would have been, the not okayness would be about stories about this is going to kill me, and how will this affect me?
Why me?
Yeah. What have I done wrong? What could I have done different? There's none of that. So that's the peace. Pain is just what it is. The suffering is always the stories about the pain.
Yeah, but...
Pain is even more intense, I would say, probably. It's direct, because there's no me filtering it out and saying, oh, trying to manage it. It's just as it is. Probably.
You don't try to manage it, because it's hard.
No, I do. No, I don't. By that,
you're not fighting it because it's just horrible.
no, by that I don't mean I'm not managing it. So I was taking painkillers, so practical things.
It's not escaping the concepts in your mind, going
Not
into
trying
your
to run
mind and going into the concepts of suffering.
It's really the
Pain,
same.
suffering is
Yeah.
different.
I don't know, but it's... I don't know, I just think like it should be, even though there are no stories about it, but they should be like fighting it in the body,
Right.
like really trying to get rid of it, like physically.
I think the peace bit of it is the absence of the this shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
That's the peace.
That's the case.
Yeah. So it's just pain, just as painful as, because pain's just what it is. But the peace bit would be the absence of saying that this shouldn't be happening to me. What have I done to deserve this? And then all the stories about how maybe I do deserve it. Oh yeah, there's a reason this happened because of this. And all the cause and effect and all of the
Too small.
other stuff.
Could you say that there's like mental peace and not bodily peace? In that situation, I mean.
I think it's both. It's just that pain's okay. Because the pain being wrong, that there's something wrong with pain? Because pain says to me, something's wrong. This shouldn't be like this. What the hell am I going to do to make this go away? And that doesn't happen. That's the only reason it's peace.
And that's why it's peace that passes all understanding. You can't understand that peace, like Tony says, a peace that passes all understanding.
Yeah.
Because it can be peace in anything.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the emptiness is the peace.
Mm-hmm.
So even though there's pain,
Yeah,
there's almost something empty about the pain.
there is. It's emptiness being
And it
pain.
can still be horrific.
There's just a lot of difference. It's exactly the same, pain is just the same, maybe a bit more intense. But there's a big difference between pain and my pain.
Yep.
It just is.
Mm.
There is. It's just... It's not easy to convey.
You know when you were talking about the stillness,
Yeah.
and then there's movement in the stillness, that's stillness moving. Well, could you say that there is just stillness? There seems to be movement, but that's stillness as well.
Yeah, just an appearance, yeah.
Yeah. And the stillness is the emptiness, same thing.
So So everything
Yeah.
is utterly empty, appearing to be full of what it is being.
Yeah.
So being is the fullness.
Yeah. And while
Because so this human being is the fullness,
yeah.
as well as everything else. The fullness being human, which is totally empty. Empty and full are not two. I mean, you can't make sense of this. You will not work this out. This isn't about working it out. It's the end of work. You are out of a job. I want to make you all redundant. I do. That's the only point in talking about this is maybe one or two of you will give up the ghost. That's one of my dad's favourite phrases, which I like that.
Yeah.
And the ghost is you. And you might give up the ghost and just fucking throw the towel in. I'm done with this shit. But you're more likely to be dragged kicking and screaming. Because me doesn't, and is not likely to give up me. That's why I never would talk about, or promote surrendering, accepting, and all process work you could do on yourself to give yourself up. Well, if you give yourself work, all you do, you just give yourself another job. Have you not got enough already? Don't give yourself more work to do. You've been working hard, haven't you, at being me? You've worked hard on yourself.